Welcome back, all my aspiring mathematicians. Today I'm going to show you how to solve an equation. Let's first define an equation. An equation is a mathematical sentence that represents the relationship of two expressions that are separated by the equal to symbol. An example of an equation is x minus 3 equal negative 2, 3x plus 2 equal 8, and another example is y plus 5 equals 7. Now, as you note from the three examples that I just gave you, is that I also throw in a different variable. So a variable in an equation can be any letter of the alphabet. It could be H, it could be Y, it could be M, whatever variable you want to use. Before we get started, I want to emphasize that there is a difference between an equation and an expression. An expression does not have the equal sign. It is simply a set of variable or a variable and a number added or subtracted, and whereas the equation, it does have an equal sign. So just bear that in mind. So let's get started on our first example of an equation where we need to solve it. So the first example that we're going to solve is x plus 2 equals 3. So in order to solve an equation, the first thing that we have to do is get that variable that is in the equation that we are going to solve. You notice here, this is an expression. It is separated by an equal sign from the other expression, which is 3. This is a monomial constant, a number that stands by itself, and we have here a binomial. So we need to get x by itself. So in order to get x by itself, you notice that 2 is being added onto x. And to get rid of that 2, we are going to do the inverse. And the inverse of plus 2 is negative 2. It's just like when you're doing the cha-cha dance on the dance floor and it says reverse, reverse. You're going to spin around, spin around. So the inverse of plus 2 is negative 2. And whatever we do on one side, we must do the same on the other side. So minus 2 here. Then we need to cancel this out because that will give you 0. We're going to bring down our x. So x is now equal to 3 minus 2, which is 1. So that's easy peasy. And we can test or we can check our work. So to check our work, we simply rewrite the equation and we are going to substitute where we see x, the variable, with what we got. In this case, it was 1. And so 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 equals 3. Do not leave it just like here. No, you have to go to the last where whatever number is on the right must equal to the number on the left and check, yes, that is correct. So let's get into the second example now. So the second example I'm going to do for you is 3x minus 4 equals 5. You notice here that there is a 3 that is being multiplied onto the x variable as opposed to the first example where there was no number that was being multiplied onto the x. So what we are going to do now, we are going to continue with the same operation like what we did before. We are going to get rid of what is added or subtracted onto the variable here. So we're going to get rid of this part, and the inverse of negative 4 is positive 4. So we have positive 4 and we must do it on both sides. Okay? Once you line it up like that, then you can go ahead now and you can cancel that out and you bring down your 3x is equal to 9. But you're not done, because notice now x is not by itself. You need to have x by itself. So in order to get x by itself, you will notice here that 3 is being multiplied onto the x, and the inverse of multiplication is division. So we need to divide by that number that is being multiplied onto the variable to get rid of it. And whatever we do on one side, we must do it on the other side. So we're going to divide both sides by 3. This will cancel out, and our final answer now is going to simply be x is left, x is equals to 3, and that is your answer. And I always say to my students, check your work. So check your work, you rewrite the original equation, and you are going to substitute wherever you see the variable x for your answer, and you got 3. So 3 times 3 is 9 minus 4 equals 5. Yes, this is true, but do not leave this like this when you are checking your work. You must end up with one number on the right is going to be equal to the number on the left. So 9 minus 4 is going to be 5. 5 equals 5, and then yes, you put your check mark. So as you should know by now, variety is the spice of life. I am going to do another example. X divided by 2 minus 1 equal to negative 3. You notice a lot of things going on here. You have an equation where you have the variable is being divided by a number, and that expression is a minus 1, and also on the other side of the equal sign is a negative number, not a positive number like what I've been doing. So you have to treat this accordingly, where you are going to get rid of what is added or subtracted first. Do not make the mistake and multiply this out and then do the addition and all of that. No, don't make that mistake. So let's get right into this. And I'm going to show you what would happen if you went ahead and did the other way. So we now are going to add 1 on both sides. So negative 3 plus 1 is going to be negative 2. All right, and then we must bring down our x divided by 2. The inverse of division is multiplication. So I suggest to my students, rewrite the problem again if you are not strong in math, and then show that you are actually multiplying by 2, which is the inverse on both sides. But if you're versed with math, you don't have to do that. You can just go ahead and multiply and achieve your answer. All right, so this is going to cancel out, and you're going to be left with x equal negative 4 as your answer. Now let me show you, sidebar, that if you did not follow the steps properly and you did this, let me do it here, and say for instance you went ahead and now you cross multiply, so you have x minus 1 equal negative 6, and then you're going to plus 1 here and plus 1 here. That is going to give you x equal negative 5. You notice your answer is incorrect. So this is the reason why you cannot do this. So just be careful there, and I'm going to put an x right through it. No. All right? Do not cross multiply and then deal with this number right here. That will lead you to an incorrect answer. Okay? And if you check your work, say for instance you check your work and you have x over 2, and as a matter of fact, you can just replace the x right now. X is going to be negative 5. If you tell me it's negative 5, minus 1 equal negative 3. You're going to have negative 2.5 minus 1 equals negative 3. This is going to be negative 3.5 equal negative 3. And see? Wrong. So that's why it's good to check your work. Whereas if you checked your work up here and you replace your negative 4 here, negative 4 divided by 2 would be negative 2. Negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. And then you can say that negative 3 equals negative 3. And yes, that is correct. So a final example is a different variable. I'm using the variable y, and y divided by 3 plus 2 equals negative 4. So as usual, do not make the mistake and cross multiply the 3 with the negative 4 as your first step. No, that would be incorrect. So I'm going to get rid of the 2, which will be negative 2, and whatever I do on one side, I'll have to do it on the other side. So I have y minus 3 equal negative 6. And don't make the mistake here and tell me it's negative 2. No. Okay? You can simply treat this one of two ways, just like this example where you put the 3 beside there. And I'm going to do that for you. Rewrite equal negative 6. And I'm going to throw in my 3 because it's doing division. So the inverse is multiplication. Cancel out. Y equals negative 18. And that is your answer. Or you can simply, y divided by 3 equals negative 6 here, you can simply just cross multiply. Now is the time when you can cross multiply and have y equals negative 6 times 3 is equals to negative 18, and that is your answer. So just note when you can do the cross multiplying there, which is just one side, it's not a two-sided cross multiplication, and then you can go ahead and solve your answer. And you can go back and check as usual, y divided by 3 plus 2 equals negative 4. And wherever you have y, you're going to substitute it with negative 18. And that negative 18 divided by 3 plus 2 equal negative 4. So you simplify this, which is negative 6 plus 2 equal negative 4. Do not stop here. Negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4 equals negative 4. And yes, that is your correct answer. So in conclusion, now that you know how to solve an equation, I hope that you will follow these steps that I just pointed out to you and be very mindful of your negative numbers. If you are not good with working with negative numbers, think of you owing someone money and then that person paying you back, and that will help you to get over your phobia in dealing with negative numbers. So I hope that these 4 examples shed some light on how you can achieve the correct answer on the next math problem that you will get where you have to solve an equation. So with that being said, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And while you're at it, hit the like button. And don't keep this to yourself. Share it with others around the world so they too can learn how to solve an equation and get over their phobia with math. Don't forget to leave me a comment. I like to read them. Thank you for watching and see you soon on the next video to come. Bye now.